I am from the Georgia Microboard Association, and we help put together this process called PATH, which is really a way to help someone and their allies and family, imagine the future and then make some steps about how we're going to get there. Okay. This process is one where we have some dreams of the future, we sort of figure out what date we want to have some goals by, and then we think about, okay, where are we now, and what's going to help us get stronger, then let's make some steps to get to that goal.
So I went down and met Caleb down at Parkwood right after me and Miss Patterson spoke, and just hung out with him for a little bit so I could get to know him. And so I thought, when I first met Miss Patterson and heard Caleb's story, I thought this would be the best way to do this. Let's just get everybody in one room and highlight Caleb's life and look at what his hopes and dreams are, and then how are we going to get there.
And so we're here for support, and this process together involves a lot of listening to each other and slowing down enough, even during the times where it's a little messy, a little confusing, where are we going? It'll all work out in the end. And also just be open to yes. I get the feeling that this is a family and friends that everybody's open to yes, we can do it, and that's wonderful. So we're halfway home already. So the path, this is some of you can see it faintly, but Kate is going to color it in. This is the North Star. Now, what is the North Star? Anybody think about what they know of the North Star? And especially in history, what the North Star was. It was following it on the Underground Railroad, particularly north, wasn't it? I mean, it was to freedom. And so the North Star is intentionally named that because it is our guide to the future, even though the future is somewhat unknown. And for some people, it's kind of scary, the future, because it's a little unknown. And it's okay. It's also the dream. It's the dream for Caleb that he has for himself, that you see for him, of what his life will be like. It also provides our direction. Caleb seeing himself as powerful and happy. When you see Caleb as powerful and happy and engaged, what's going on? Kind of Caleb where his heart is singing, when his eyes are dancing. The next step, number 2, is what's called the positive and possible, and that's right here in this sort of circle. And what we're going to do is pick a date, about maybe a year from now, and say, gee, we imagine that if we were standing in August 7th, 2015, and we were looking back over there, you know how when you have a calendar and you flip back over the past months, what would have taken place for us to get to a certain point, a certain goal? What would a good life be for you, Caleb, as a 16-year-old, a few years getting to be a young adult?
I think him being able to go out in public, the mall, grocery stores, without having to hold him. Him just being able to, blend in with you, go in.
Don't ever let anybody tell you what he can and cannot do. Let Caleb steer you in that direction. Okay. Because when he graduates from school, he'll be able to work. There's going to be things that he's going to be doing. The idea is to get outside of the mold and get outside of everybody staying in their safe little boxes, and keep reminding everybody that at the end of the day, this is about Caleb. Yeah. And it needs to be about what Caleb wants.
What do you imagine that Caleb would really like to learn how to make? 2 things that he would really feel, because part of this is about competence, right? I mean, as you get older, you get more competent in certain things. And that he would literally be able to cook a couple of dishes.
He would really want to fry his own sausage. In the morning, he really watches me fry his sausage. He loves little patty sausages.
Okay. I don't know whether you like oatmeal or not, Caleb, but could you imagine Caleb taking out, the packet and pouring it in the bowl, having a cup that was the correct amount of water, putting that in, putting it in the microwave, letting it cook, and
I
then
can imagine that. I can see
putting
him doing
raisins and dates and
Yeah.
sugar, you know, whatever people put in it.
it. With the proper training, I can see him doing it.
Okay.
Animation.
Okay.
Her smallest son the other day had on a shirt. Who was on that shirt, Sean?
Scooby-Doo.
Scooby-Doo, and Caleb just would not leave him alone. And he was like trying to get that shirt off of him. So he really likes animation. He likes like cartoons and stuff like that. Things that are seeming to be exciting and that have a lot of life.
Can you imagine Caleb behind a camera like Carl's got?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, actually making pictures of things moving.
Yes.
Okay.
And daring you to take the camera.
And say again.
And daring you to take the camera
Oh, okay.
from. He's being protective of his thing.
Yeah. You know, I asked my 13-year-old daughter, I said, I'm going to visit a young man who's 16 and we're going to do a path. She's 13. The first thing she said, oh, girlfriend.
You mentioned basketball. Is that Caleb, you like basketball?
He used to like to go and play basketball, but now he doesn't really like to, and I would like for that to be something that he gets back into.
Knowledge do we need about, for example, the school system or people in the schools to get started?
The parent-mentor connection.
Okay. So we need to get to know a parent mentor. And the mentors describe what they do.
A parent mentor is a parent of a child that experiences some sort of disability, and they've kind of learned over the years how to navigate the school system, and their job is to stand beside Caleb and make sure that the school is doing right by Caleb. And it also provides the family with some additional support when they're kind of brainstorming on how to work out some situation that may be going on. So it's a mom or a dad that is educated in how the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act works and how to move through that process.
This may be one of our bold steps, that 6 months from now, several of the men here in the family commit to whatever it takes to practice using the bathroom on himself, you know. And that may be, we'll say by 6 months, we think that maybe day after day for, 6 months, that may really help make this happen.
One thing I was thinking of that I remember, Caleb likes to ride the bus, right? For going for rides in cars. So part of that independence could maybe get himself on the school bus at some time.
The big question that I had was what made you decide today to call and ask for some assistance? What happened or what did you decide that made you say August 1 he's going to be home? And do you remember what you said to me?
I don't.
You don't remember. You told me because they're not his family. And you said, they're not his family, and I can tell when I go down to see him. It's very clear. You didn't tell me that they were mean to him, but you just said he needs to be with his family now, and you were ready to take him home. And that just connected me to you immediately, and I know even though I'm not going to be an advocate in the sense that Joe is, that we're connected, and we will be, and you know how to find me. So.
I went to see him, and I told him the last time that I dropped him off, I made him a promise. He wouldn't go in, and he was stubborn, and he didn't want to go in, and I said, Caleb, if you go in, this will be your last time going in because you're coming home.
Oh.
And he got his Bible, and he walked in. And I knew then that Caleb was coming home August 1st. So it was a God thing.
Well, congratulations to the whole family.
Yeah.
And I think we should clap for Mom.